Alright folks, welcome back to Let's Play Starcraft 2, Wings of Liberty on the Serious JG. I had like way too much pizza for dinner, I'm feeling kind of loogy, not that great. So I figured, why not work on Starcraft 2, the only LP I'm currently working on where I actually have any incentive to be at my sharpest. Because, you know, I can load in two of my other LPs, well actually three of them, and there's one of them where it's basically on auto mode, and you barely have to do anything except make fun of the dialogue. This is the only game, however, where if I screw up, it can really wreck an entire video. So let's continue to play it on hard mode. Last time we successfully unearthed the Protoss artifact to fight, despite the best efforts of the Teldrain, whatever they're called, guys. And we didn't really do all of our chatty dialogue that we could have done, I believe. So let's do that before our next mission. Yeah, so I'm playing it on hard mode, and it's significantly more difficult than it is on the default difficulty level. I think I'd gotten so used to this game being easy that I might be overreacting, but now I'm a little bit fearful again that I might have real difficulty in the later missions. Or I was planning on this LP being a bit of a cakewalk where I just showcased the game and didn't really have to worry about doing well. I still think this game is easier on hard mode than the Zerg campaign of Brood War was, but we'll see. Blizzard has taken some flack from some people for trying to be more mainstream, I guess, than they were in the past. I don't know why a game company has a huge amount of monetary success and then wants to mainstream up their formula. But if this game is guilty of doing that, it's nowhere near as bad as Diablo 3, so whatever. Let's talk to Swan. RGB War Chief. That's Ajax.
We're rocking some serious heavy metal now that we got siege tanks.
Keep rocking, baby.
Yes, sir. The comforting thunder of the big guns. Well, comforting when they're on our side.
We did hear
Yeah,
that.
these newer tanks have better guns when they're on the move, and reinforced armor.
So long as they still got the range in siege mode, the rest is just gravy. Between siege tanks and bunkers, we can hold the line against just about anything.
I'd like to get me some of that pork gravy. Maybe we did talk to him. Anyway, we got stuff to spend on upgrades. Or, no, we don't. Yeah, we don't really have anything to spend on upgrades. You can spend a little on upgrades, but save it for the Dungeon of Doom, brother. Save it for the siege tanks. Oh, that's right. I know what I was going to do next time. Even though there were missions that I wanted to play with here, including the final Gabriel Tosh mission, and we've been putting off this for a long time. We now have the Protoss mini campaign to do. Oh, I'm not really looking forward to doing the last campaign of that, or mission of that on hard mode. That would be interesting. I mean, even on normal difficulty, I had trouble getting all the bonus objectives. Just not very good.
You ain't gonna believe this, but I just saw Zeratul on the ship.
You're not gonna believe this, but JG's not very good at this
How much did you
game.
have to drink tonight, sir?
He was here, Matt. And he was hurt. On the run from something.
Emotionally hurt,
Where
Matt.
is he now, sir?
I don't know. But he ain't on the ship anymore. He gave me an Eon memory crystal, and he was desperate for me to study it.
He pushed it up against my face and said,
See what he's seen.
"Remember."
Ah, I like all the pretty lights.
I like it when my body is glowing. What's this guy? Here comes this guy. What's he gonna do? Hey, Tychus, my old friend Zeratul showed up. What do you think of that?
So now we've got 3 of these artifacts on my ship. When are we supposed to hand these damn things over?
They got their hands full right now. The Zerg are about to invade Tirador, where Mobius' main research center is. I don't reckon we'll hear anything from them until they relocate somewhere safe.
Wonderful.
A marvelous, thank you, boys.
Had any visitors lately?
I don't know what
You
you're
mean like
talking about,
V?
Tosh.
Oh, I think you do, James
Well,
Raynor.
I said I don't.
Something was on this ship just now. I still smell it.
I smell its lack of mouth.
Protoss. Interesting.
Whatever you think you know, you just keep it to yourself. I hear you yapping about this, and I'll toss you out the airlock.
I got voodoo magic airlock tossing out survival powers, man. But I'll keep quiet. I don't want to make you angry, my friend.
This is Donnie Vermillion, live from UNN.
Turns out Raynor's friends with the
Tonight,
Protoss.
The Zerg invasion. The battle so far. The Terran Dominion is holding firm under Zerg aggression. Our industrial complex has stepped up production on all fronts. Enlistment rates have risen within the penal system, and the
Penal.
Marine Corps is ready to get in the fight. The Zerg won't know what hit them.
Donnie, has there been any word on when we start pushing the aliens back?
Kate, if I revealed that, I'd be giving away vital Dominion secrets.
That I don't have.
You think the Zerg watch our broadcast?
I know they do, Kate. I know they do.
I got a lot of Zerg
you
fan
heard it
mail.
here first, folks. This is Kate Lockwell for UNN.
Wait, what are you doing talking sass to me in that little... Why are you even in that little screen? Where are you on location at? I mean, you just gotta show up and sass me? I don't... And then we've got a caller from the Zerg. The Overlord Zerg calling the show, you know, like to do. Recovered Zerg sample continues to evolve. Clearly has motor function despite lack of anything like a neural cortex. And it's giving off more heat than it could possibly be absorbing the tank. I'm learning how to Zerg... Okay, I think I've read this. And I probably read the Protoss one too, so screw it.
I see we have a new acquisition. Is it a Protoss device?
That's right. But I wouldn't mess with it if I were you. It's a Kadaran Ehan crystal.
And it doesn't run on
It's a memory
American
storage
wattage.
device. Lets you experience what other people have seen or done.
You need an adapter
It can be
to
dangerous if you don't know what you're
blow
doing.
out your
Yet you don't
outlets.
fear it at all. You're a fascinating man, Jim Raynor. You know more about the Protoss and the Zerg than any of the experts I've read about.
If by know about you mean I've killed a bunch of them and they don't have mouths, then yeah, I picked up on that.
Yes. You have a question, sir?
I don't know why you don't get to talk to him. Protoss crystal continues to grow. I no longer think it's drawing power from the ship. It's getting pure energy from the sphere above it, and that presents a new worry. What is it doing with all that power? Is it going to release it explosively? I have to keep Swan away from the sample. He'll definitely shoot it out of the airlock with me strapped to it. I tried scraping smaller samples, but all my tools broke. Luckily, I found some cast-off chips floating in the tank. Wonder how they came off. In any case, the chips reveal more of the Matrix. Is it... Ooh. The Matrix. So it's like... Are you trying to tell me that I could dodge bullets? It's keeping the energy trapped there in the vortex. How does it keep the energy... How does it move the energy as fast? It may be... Fabled Protoss warp technology. For all its complexity, the Matrix is solid as the strongest structure. I wonder if I could apply these dynamics to our own structure. Make a note. I'm learning so much from this crystal, but I can't help feeling as if it's learning from me, if that makes sense. Late, tired, sleep now. Must serve Protoss version of Overmind.
Holding these artifacts is making me nervous. Can you tell me any more about them?
It's interesting.
But
The one from
stupid.
Zill is different than the others. However, I think all of them once constituted a single device.
You mean they make something bigger?
It would seem so. It's just a theory, but there's an attraction between the artifacts we've collected. A kind of harmonic resonance. Given the points of contiguous translinear alignment, I think they'd be drawn together like magnets under the right field adjustment.
Oh, they're like
Okay.
Protoss Legos.
Well, don't adjust anything just yet, Doc. I like them aligned just the way they are.
Was that an allusion to your testicles, sir? I'm assuming it was. Most things you say are. Okay, so we don't have enough tech for anything new, and it doesn't matter because none of that or the upgrades or anything will matter when we do the Protoss missions starting now.
Raynor,
Alright, buddy.
the hounds of the void are closing in.
No, I screwed that up. My bad. I don't know what the hell happened there. Let's try this again. Oh no, it's not going to play it again. Okay, I have to click play. My bad, I totally screwed up the first time. I apologize, I don't know what I was thinking. We're gonna do that again, we're gonna do it right this time.
Raynor,
Hey man.
the hounds of the
See, that was
void
better,
are
wasn't it?
closing in. I impart my memory, my very essence, into this Ihan crystal.
I'm into it.
So that you will see what I have seen.
Right on.
And that the future may yet have hope.
Okay. Well, this is Jimmy. You impart your essence? That's kind of gross, dude, but you do what you gotta do. Whatever floats your Protoss boat.
Zeratul,
Hey man.
what the hell have you gotten yourself into?
Decisive action. Oh wait, that's not Zeratul. Yeah, we just saw this, didn't we?
Friend Raynor.
Hey man.
Long has it been since we stood together against the swarm.
Yeah. I like Phoenix better though.
Since then, I have wandered the void in solitude, seeking an ancient prophecy, rumored to foretell the return of the Zelnaga.
Well, you know you could have dropped by.
My sojourn led me to a remote world known as Ulan,
Ulaanbaatar, capital of Mongolia. Don't sleep!
where I discovered fragments of the prophecy. Yet I was not the first to find them. It falls to you now, old friend, to relive my memories and believe.
I'm not that old. I thought you guys were like thousands of years old, like individually. So why you keep calling me old friend? I mean, what the hell? Anyway, man, I was not expecting to reference Eichel during this video. Great Father, help me find Zelnaga artifact and be great
The
warrior.
Zerg swarm came as was foretold,
They didn't even clean up afterwards. It was gross.
and the Protoss, firstborn of the gods, rose to fight them.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to pause. I'm kind of surprised it let me do that. It didn't make me skip. That's nice.
Now, the Zelnaga that forged us all are returning.
And they're pissed.
What do they come to save
Or load.
or to destroy?
And now Zeratul, with his lightsaber knife, tries to sneak into the base, which is holding an animal for Starzu. In theory, that should be... I mean, it looks pretty badass, but we know Zeratul can handle a Hydralisk. Still, they're coming in massive numbers. That's kind of the way I use Hydras. Oh, it's so hot when you kill my Hydras, Zeratul.
I knew you'd find your way here. Eventually.
Your very presence defiles this place, Kerrigan.
Thank
You
you!
hear them, Zeratul? Whispering from the stars. The galaxy will burn with their coming.
Perhaps.
I hate it when he does that.
But you won't live to see it.
Please. Our petty conflicts mean nothing now. The storm is coming that cannot be stopped.
Not even Doppler 10 can track it.
Fitting that we should face oblivion together.
I always liked you, Zeratul. Ooh! You jerk! That was my favorite wing! I forgot to make her talk like a female in my last two comments there. Oh, pretty cool. I wasn't expecting that. It's like when Bruce Lee tastes the blood and then suddenly goes, "Whoa!" I was expecting that, yet I didn't get it. So Zeratul has basically come to conclude that although he can give her a better fight than most can, he's pretty much out of his league here. And
Fate cannot be changed. The end comes. And when it finds me,
I'll have a slightly undergrown
I shall embrace
left wing.
at last.
Shows what you know, bitch. You have the first expansion. The last expansion's about me.
Is uncertain. There is always hope.
I mean, seriously, you don't think Legacy of the Void's gonna be about Artanis, do you? Fuck no. I'm taking this story home. Or at least as far home as Blizzard will take it before they start working on Starcraft 3. Excuse me. Sorry. Undercutting the seriousness and dignity of that whole sequence with that little air burp at the end. To say nothing about all the stupid comments. Current mission, Whispers of Doom. Hi, folks, I'm Doom. Protoss units have shields that absorb damage and slowly regenerate when the units are not in combat, which would have been nice to know and when fighting against the Protoss, but you know, whatever. Because you have to remind yourself, yes, there is a probably pretty sizable portion of the StarCraft 2 public who've never played StarCraft. There's probably a less numerically significant, but still quite feisty and angry portion of the StarCraft public who refuse to even try StarCraft 2 because, you know, they made us wait like ludicrously freaking long for it. But hey, you know, Whispers of Doom. Okay, folks, this is a dungeon crawl. First mission of StarCraft 2 is a dungeon crawl. Our first mission as the Protoss is a dungeon crawl. And, you know, I've played the Heart of the Swarm expansion. Technically, that first mission is not really just a dungeon crawl. I guess it kind of is. I don't really remember exactly how it worked. It was kind of a, you don't have a full-fledged base, but yeah, all I'm saying is this: StarCraft 2 loves dungeon crawls even more than StarCraft 1 did, on account of the fact that StarCraft 2 is all about casual players who just want to play for a few minutes at a time.
I will fulfill my calling.
I will fulfill keyboard shortcuts.
The prophecy was divided into fragments.
Divided into 3?
Separate shrines. I must gather them and depart this world quickly.
Big time. Zeratul is permanently cloaked. This is kind of key. It looks like there's a broad unit I can see there, but
I will be redeemed. This chasm is vast. It is fortunate that I can phase through the shadows to the other side.
because I can do that now. Zeratul is a powerful Protoss Dark Templar. He has permanent cloaking that makes him invisible to all detectors like spore crawlers and overseers. Centuries of training have made him adept at close quarters combat. Oh, and he can teleport short distances now because, you know, they wanted him to be as much like the Huntress from Warcraft 3's expansion as possible, I guess. This game really reminiscent of Warcraft 3 in my mind, but whatever. Zeratul has the ability to teleport across short distances using Blink to cross impassable obstacles and move quickly in and out of combat. Am I the only one who thinks that Blink was an overrated Doctor Who episode? I mean, it was good, but
In the service of Aya.
it's consistently held up now as being one of the best episodes ever. I'm like, eh.
My allegiance is yours.
Maybe it's just, you know, maybe this is where you have to face up to the fact that if you were 12 when you watched it, it wouldn't be the same as watching it when you're, you know, my age.
We must not hesitate.
I will hesitate and that is straight. Wait, that's meditate, I'm thinking.
Glory to the firstborn.
That sounds a little racist, Zeratul.
En Aldim Rashagal.
And Rashagal was, of course, the chick who showed up a few short times in Brood War and got the mind rush put on her by Kerrigan.
Arun Aladan.
Get your rocks off, Zeratul. Boom.
Shozak Maknul. En Arudin Rashagal. Spore crawlers can detect my presence. I should stun them with my void prison.
I'm not going to, but I should. Attack rock obstacles like I just did to destroy them, or I can blink past them. And I'll probably void prison here. Zeratul can create a void prison of psionic energy around an enemy, stunning it and suppressing its ability to detect. This is used for killing hordes of spore crawlers, or dealing with large Zerg creatures such as Ultralisk and Broodlords. I'm thinking the idea is that this kind of thing is really helpful in this mission.
Sukdash Salak.
Like they give all these heroes these abilities for these dungeon crawl missions that really don't make a difference in the main game.
Glory to the firstborn.
Again, racism, Zeratul.
Honor commands.
The firstborn being, I assume, a name for the Protoss.
In the service of Ire.
In the name of the Father.
There is
I wrote your stupid Giuseppe name in the ground, and I pissed on it.
My burdens weigh heavily.
Not really a lot of point. It's not invulnerable. What the? How is it invulnerable?
You address me?
I can't target invulnerable units. Why would this thing be invulnerable?
Rashagal.
What the hell's going on here? Okay,
We must not hesitate. I will erase the demons of the past.
I don't understand.
That spore crawler can detect me from across the chasm. It must be destroyed. I will fulfill my calling. Shozak Maknul.
I don't know why that thing was invulnerable, but something went horribly wrong there.
My burdens
Huge red text telling us we can't control
That
Zergling
overseer
because
can see through my cloak.
Yeah.
I'd best stun it with my void prison before crossing this chasm.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Yep.
My allegiance is yours. I will be restored. I will erase the demons of the past. En Arudin Rashagal.
And Taro thingy me jigger.
In the service of Ire. The first fragment of the prophecy. Soon all will be made clear.
Wait, what?
Why not surrender yourself to oblivion, Zeratul? Wouldn't it be better to end your struggle now than witness the final, agonizing moments of your species?
Okay, folks.
The foreboding prophecy weighs heavily on my heart. I'd best reach the remaining shrines before she reconsiders letting me live.
Alright, guys. This is really freaking weird, but I looked up. I don't know what you're seeing now. I have... Okay, so here's the deal. From this point on in this video, the commentary is post-commentary because of stuff, what happened, and it might not even sync up 100% awesome because with the editing software that I'm using for the stuff that comes off this capture card. It's just a lot harder to do anything fancy or unusual post, editing than it is with Camtasia, but Camtasia doesn't give me as high a definition and output, so I've been using blah blah blah. The point of the story is that I wasn't paying very close attention to my disk space, so I got a warning message from the recorder part of the way through the video, which I guess is better than it just failing to save. So kudos to them for that. But it really threw me off at the time, and I think during live commentary, which is now lost forever, I'm busily explaining to you how, I'm trying to get it back, hold on, I don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. But for one thing, like my recorder software, pops up, like its window that comes up, has kind of a similar color scheme to Starcraft 2, Wings of Liberty, to the point where I thought that was what was Starcraft 2 was giving me a message saying I didn't have enough disk space, and I was like, what the hell? And it was also weird because I'm playing now off my laptop and I have it hooked into my desktop, where the desktop is what records, but the desktop still feeds out to the TV. So even though I wasn't using the TV monitor was showing StarCraft 2 as I played it off the laptop. So I had this weird experience where I just glanced up and noticed an error message on the TV screen, while my laptop showed nothing because it's just playing StarCraft. It's pretty kooky, crazy stuff, folks. Really entertaining to hear about, I'm sure. But yeah, I gotta just kind of talk until past JG, basically JG from last night, starts playing again, which he just did. So I'm gonna post-commentate my way through this, and good grief, folks. Of course, during live commentary, I had no idea how much longer I was really gonna take with this whole video, but now I can see how much more there is to go.
Glory
Holy crap!
to the firstborn.
And right back at you, Sergio. I mean, how could you guys watch these videos? They're so long. Yeah, this particular dungeon crawl just got ridiculous. I took way too long. I kept loading every time anything went wrong.
Will be so much for Kerrigan's reprieve.
What a bitch. Dude, I totally thought she was gonna be nice to me. He wasn't really in trouble until the Mutalisks showed up. But anyway, you require more Vespene gas. Some backup has arrived.
Greetings, Exalted One. We are here in the service of High Templar Karas. He is nearby.
Your presence is most welcome. Let us keep moving.
Forever young.
I will be redeemed.
They said forever something, so yeah. I think at this point I remember that somebody complained I wasn't using all the unit quotes. So I read about stalkers. I read it out loud, but I have a hard time reading it from where I'm sitting, so you're just gonna have to read it for yourselves. But hey, super awesome high-def videos, huh? Pretty frickin' snazzy, I gotta say. It wasn't exactly cheap, the hardware that I picked up to do this, so I'm glad that it works really well. Occasionally it just wants to bug out, but
destroy their defenses before we proceed.
No problem, man. Sounds good.
You address me?
So we've got the situation here where if we save that game, JJ, you'll be seeing a lot of that.
State thy bidding.
If we shoot the Overlord that's up there, which is the new
is the void. State thy bidding.
Yeah, I'm almost into the quotes. That's what I'm doing.
Colder than these steel limbs.
I'm cold as
Twilight comes as it must.
My love, or our love, or whatever. Twilight stuff.
We are all but shadows in the void.
All we are is dust in the wind, man.
I hear the call of the stars. Nightfall.
Stars, Art Carney, Audrey Meadows. Ooh, it's getting pretty intimidating now.
I am one with the darkness. Ouch.
finally making fun of themselves a little bit with this whole over the top dark crap. Boom!
Don't blink,
Really stuck it away.
or you'll miss me.
Or statues will come to life and send you to the past or whatever.
Now you see me. Now you don't. Oh, wait. Here I am. You went to bed early last night.
I actually did, at least last night as of
I see
recording
you
this.
turned off your phone.
No, that I didn't do.
You never return my calls. I'm your biggest fan.
Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I didn't realize last night while recording this
Restraining order. What about our love?
that this unit is called Stalker.
Pictures of you. Hundreds.
I was kind of like noting the amusing obsessive humor, but I was like, oh,
My skills.
you require more best we can get. I
Voice of the eclipse.
just kind of blanked on the fact they're called Stalkers, I guess.
Darkness.
Because it's just as well that video didn't go out as was, because it was like, I didn't spend a lot of time dwelling on it, but I was like, huh, I wonder what this is about.
Redeemed.
For not understanding the Stalker jokes.
My burdens weigh heavily.
The Stalker Barry Windham, Stalker Channing.
I will erase the demons of the past.
With my Z eraser.
You address me?
Yeah.
I will not rest until my atonement is complete.
The timing on getting new unit quotes to trigger was kind of weird.
With renewed purpose.
With press on nails.
I will not falter. I will not waver.
I will survive as long as I know how to love.
Our enemies will be undone.
Knee press on nails. Knee press on.
Through darkest night, we await the coming of the dawn.
Through darkest night, Green Lantern's
I
light,
must
whatever.
not allow my guilt to consume me. I will find a way to set things right.
He's a positive thinking guy.
Retribution will be swift and absolute.
I guess he's supposed to be hung up on the fact that he had to kill Rashagal, but...
Hesitation leads to defeat.
So hurry up and stop with this unit quote crap.
Shozak Maknol,
Ollie Ollie oxen free.
I will
Yeah.
be redeemed.
I'm guessing he's supposed to be all
One with the shadows.
all worked up about how he had to kill Rashagal in Brood War, but Brood War didn't make any freaking sense, so it's kind of hard for me to get all worked up about
I
it.
am the heart of darkness.
So yeah, you'll notice I was really obsessive in this, what I played through last night, and trying to
Shozak
keep
Maknol,
all the Stalkers alive.
my allegiance.
State thy bidding. Complete the cycle.
And this is a problem primarily because it seems like you get the Stalkers back periodically, and instead of you get a certain number of units added to your force as you go.
Address me.
So like if you kept most of them,
My
you get,
burdens
like if I
weigh
kept all
heavily.
4, I'll hit a point where I'm supposed to get 2 more, and I'll end up with 6. It's like, no, it seems like in hard mode they cap the number of them you're supposed to get fairly low.
Veraku.
So you can't stock, but that might be in my
I will-
imagination,
You
but it seems
require
like
my skills.
there was a point coming up where I lost 2 and I got 1, or I got 2, and then I loaded and I only lost 1 and I only got 1. Does that make any sense at all? I got to a certain point and the exact number that I needed to get my stalker count up to
You
like 8,
address
I
me.
think, actually
My
spawned.
burdens weigh heavily.
But yeah, most of the rest of this level are puzzles like this.
Honor commands.
You get some kind of thing going where their tool can
Oblivion
become invisible
descends.
if he attacks the right stuff. Now this was weird. I got this. I killed that.
Scales
Okay.
will be balanced.
I don't see what's weird so far. So, never mind. Maybe something happened and I had to load. Or maybe it's somewhere else. But there was definitely something weird that happened with the Ultralisk. Meanwhile, Zeratul can't really kill these guys. So, in order to be helpful, all he can do is freeze one so that my stalkers don't get overwhelmed by fighting all three of them at once. They wouldn't get overwhelmed. It's more of a matter of I don't want any of them to take actual health damage. Because this is our first chance in this game to play with Protoss, and as you'll recall from Starcraft, Protoss have shields that regenerate and health that does not. So if you can go into a skirmish where your units never get knocked down to more than half, like they never start taking actual health damage, it's all shield damage, you can wait around and they'll come back to full strength. Whereas if they take health damage, the shields will come back, but if you get 1 hit point left and 100 shields, then...
That patrol of broodlords must be dealt with cautiously, or we will be torn asunder.
Yeah, broodlords are kind of a pain in the ass to fight against.
Cold is the void.
Cold is us.
Shozak Maknul.
Yeah. Now I'm realizing now with my current setup, I could probably walk to the fridge and keep the microphone.
In the service
I wouldn't be able to see
higher.
the screen though. So yeah, this spoiler alert, this is a pain in the ass, and I don't manage to clear this on my first attempt. The problem is I'm trying to avoid taking any damage. And the broodlords are aerial units that rather than firing blasts that damage units, they shoot out little ground units that then harass your guys. And if you focus your fire on the broodlords themselves, the things that are attacking the broodlords don't defend themselves from the ground guys that attack, but you've got to focus fire on the broodlord, so you'll just start shooting out more and more ground guys to attack you. It's, yeah. And the thing really is that you've got to isolate one and kill it.
We are one with the shadows.
Because when they're both there, they just
Shozak Maknul.
are a major pain in the butt. So I was trying to figure out which one to isolate and destroy. Because they're set on this patrol motion. Zeratul can, of course, use his Void Prison, which I think was described in the last video, to freeze one and stop it from moving, but he can't actually help against it directly. So I had hoped that I could put him in a position where he could kill the little ground guys, but no, like here, he got stuck behind his stalkers and couldn't do it. And even though I probably should have just sucked it up and gone forward, I'm going to end up loading here. And you cannot control that unit, bright red, in case you are an idiot and don't understand that. I want to make sure you know. I mean, do they think that people have gotten dumber since StarCraft came out? Because StarCraft didn't tell you couldn't control it, and it didn't have a huge red message that says you can't control this unit.
My skills.
You click on it, and it doesn't respond to your commands. You figure it out.
I will erase the demons.
So again, I'm doing this totally wrong because I froze it, and that other one is close by. I needed to freeze it when the other one was just getting ready to leave or whatever. Gotta figure out the timing so that... I guess I was trying to make sure that Zeratul was in position to assist with these guys, but I actually do even worse here. But yeah, I have no idea how often, or if at all, new stalkers or new Protoss forces will be given to Zeratul to help with this mission. So I'm just trying to conserve them all, and it's going to make for a really long video.
I am the voice of the eclipse.
I am the voice of JG getting tired of his own video, and there's a lot left to come. Also, this time where I'm taking to do this re-record is time that I really wanted to use to record new material, so... This might be it here where I finally succeed. Yeah.
My burdens weigh heavily.
should have... Do I say... Oh, good, I did save here. There's another point where I get halfway through and I've really got a great setup, and then I don't bother to save. Just go back
En Arudin Rashagal.
Yeah.
Shozak Maknul.
So this is exactly what we needed, though.
You address me?
Oh, you know, I think this could be it, actually, because... managed to get in trouble against, there's still some forces other than those little,
We must not hesitate.
Yeah, because Zeratul... I decided to void prism one of the two detectors and kill the other detector, but now Zeratul has taken health damage, and I consider that unacceptable, so... Jesus, JG, just suck it up and deal! Now, Zeratul taking health damage is very bad news in this level, because it's a long level. And, I think I found out that there were points where your troops get healed, but I didn't know that. So yeah, at least I saved here. So we'll get rid of this guy, and then probably save yet again. And what I should have done, because you see that Overlord over whatever it's called, flying guy, he can... I don't know if it's an Overlord or what, because there's two different Zerg flyers that provide supply in this game. It's slightly different. I should have just made Zeratul go over to the spine crawler and just kill it first.
My burdens weigh.
So I'll save here. As irritating as that is, it's better than me just... And then I tried to blink them all over there to get a quick jump attack, but only Zeratul makes it, which is really the worst thing that could possibly happen because they're isolated. But luckily in this case, he's still fine. Because it was overkill to think I needed all of my guys to take that one spine crawler out. Zeratul's the one I'd wanted attacking anyway, because he's got the most shield strength, I believe. And once again, this is frustrating, this when blink doesn't work and somebody doesn't make it. Because they still get charged for using the blink spell, which means they still have a cooldown before they hit blink. They teleport, but they teleport to like where they already were, basically.
Prepare for an aerial attack. Brace yourselves, my brethren.
An attack by Ariel and Ukla. Ride!
In the service of fire.
Yeah. In the shadow of the valley.
I will erase the demons.
And Zeratul takes health damage, and I'm just like, I can't stand it. Can't abide it. It actually worked out fairly well there. And I got a new stalker, which brings me up to 7.
My burdens weigh heavily.
Unless there's another one hidden down there. I think I ended up with 7 stalkers. No, is there?
En Arudi, I will erase the demons of the past. The Queen of Blades built hatcheries here. She seeks to subvert this sacred world. I shall put an end to that plan.
What's so frickin' sacred about this world anyway? Seems kinda lame. Totally uninhabited. So now I start losing units, and I'm all pissy about that, and...
My burdens weigh heavily.
But I think I figured I will take one shot at this, and if it doesn't work, I will load and we'll go through that whole aerial battle again.
Sukdash Salak. Arun Aladan. The scales will be balanced.
Yeah, at that point I decide, nope, enough is enough and it's time for a change. And doom whispers continue to be whispered by whispery folks. Whisper-thin bohemian types. So we end up all the way back here. Probably cursing this now, but you know, whatever. So they like throwing scourges around and displays of aerial power to make you intimidated by how many Zerg there are about. In campaigns where you only have ground forces, these dungeon crawls. They used to do that in dungeon crawls in Starcraft as well.
Honor commands.
I remember there's a big scourge flyover in Brood War's first mission. But the weird thing is that when you actually get to play as the Zerg.
Prepare for an aerial attack. Brace yourselves, my brethren.
Aerial Ukla ride. When you actually play as the Zerg later, they don't even get to do that. Build Scourge.
We are one with the shadow. I will erase the demons of the past. My burdens weigh heavily.
So see, the first time through I didn't lose any stalkers, and I got given one new stalker. That time I did lose a stalker, and I'm given 2. So from this point on, I'm convinced the game makes sure you have 5 stalkers at this point. So I'm kind of kicking myself for all the care that I've taken out to lose a stalker.
The Queen of Blades built hatcheries here. She seeks to subvert this sacred world. I shall put an end to that plan.
Yeah, basically you're given your bonus objective, which is to destroy all the hatcheries.
I am the voice of the eclipse.
Yeah, so while I'm kind of kicking myself at this point for having save loaded so much just to save these damn guys, I don't really stop doing that because I can't be sure that it continues to work like that. But anyway, we've isolated this guy, which is good. Although we took one of my guys took damage, that irritated me, but I don't think I bothered to go back and load just for that. Maybe I did.
Be redeemed.
Cold is the void.
So what I really need to do is get rid of the flying detectors so that Zeratul rather, can go down there and do his thing.
Veraku, I am
the detectors are also allowing those spine crawlers to actually attack my stalkers. The stalkers are above, so if they didn't have detectors flying around, or even doesn't even have to be detectors, just aerial units, these guys wouldn't be able to actually attack the guys who are above them because they wouldn't be able to see them. It looks like at that particular spot they can't fire or attack, I should say, anyway.
I serve.
You
So now
address
we've
me.
officially hit the point where... Oh, wait, there's another one. Oh, jeez, how many of those damn guys are there?
I will fulfill.
We are one with the shadows.
Shozakmak.
You require my skill.
I will erase.
I am the voice of the eclipse. We move
So finally making some progress here. We got rid of that guy. They will no longer be attacked. And now, as Zeratul gets down there, he can kill with impunity. Huzzah!
I will erase the demons of the past.
It was like a half an hour of footage before this. This is like a marathon. I think
Arun Naladan.
this damn... I mean, it's nice that you get a chance to play around as a Protoss, but this is just a little cute, fun Protoss dungeon crawl. I think the video ended up being longer than it was to do Omega. Maybe not. Omega was almost 2 hours. And now, you still got stuff to kill here because in this game, when you kill Zerg buildings, it leaves spawn broodlings behind, which is kind of neat. It's a little way that a Zerg base, even if it's falling, the Zerg player is harming his opponents. That is, assuming it works that way for the human Zerg players and not just for campaign mode. I think it does. So yeah, they're a little
The
nuisance to
second
enemy attackers.
fragment of the prophecy. My task is nearly complete.
So, yeah, see, they heal your dudes. So I have just throughout this thing been way too over the top with trying to prevent my guys from taking any harm.
Your hope is an illusion, old
Oh yeah, Hope is
fool.
our annoying character from Final
If
Fantasy
you can
13.
so easily read my mind, Kerrigan, you'll see that I'll never give up. So long
I'll
as
never
hope
give up on,
remains.
never give up on, never give up on, never give up.
Careful now. Kerrigan has set guards to bar our way. It could be a trap.
It's a trap.
We should take them out carefully, one at a time, or risk being overwhelmed.
Like this. Oh crap. She said something like, old fool, which I believe in the live commentary caused me to go, you are an old fool, you are an old fool. Yeah. Oh, the things that you do in front of me.
We are one with the shadows.
You address me.
Sorry. So, scientists in the land of evil vampires. I mean, come on. How could you not know about that? So yeah, at this point, it's about using Void Prism to isolate guys.
I am the heart of darkness.
I am what I am, and that's all. Oh, but I didn't realize that guy was here. Holy crap! Run away!
Intriguing.
Meanwhile, Zeratul must be getting shot over here or something. Oh, he's okay. But yeah, I believe this is where there's some glitchiness involving an Ultralisk, which irritated me.
Weigh heavily. Sukdash Salak.
So yeah, Zeratul had been over there on his own, and I was kind of weirded out by that, because I thought I heard him getting attacked while I was controlling the stalkers and making them run away. So I decided to get him over here where he wouldn't be, on his own like that. Ultralisks, you'll see. I believe this is the first time we've seen them. They look very different in this game. So I cannot control this unit. Maybe it wasn't here. There's definitely... Maybe it happened in the first video, and I don't... The first part of this video, the part that I'm not having to do after the fact commentary, and that's why I've forgotten about it, but... There's definitely some weirdness going on with an Ultralisk. Did I... Oh, see, now I'm realizing I shouldn't have frozen it till I had my boys ready to come in and attack. All I've done is change their movement pattern. I didn't really isolate anybody. So I'm going back to Zeratul, checking his, has he got the skill queued up again?
My burdens weigh heavily.
He
I
does.
am the voice of the eclipse.
Shozak Maknul.
I am the heart of darkness.
I'm back, Jack, ready to attack.
You require my skills.
I guess this time I decided to get rid of him.
The void.
They all gotta die eventually, folks.
For now.
So it's basically the Broodlords. I mean, they're not unstoppable monsters, but they are a pain in the ass. So it's definitely good to use your Void Prism type skills on them. And there we go. It took forever and a day, but we got past this. Okay. So how you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good, I guess. I am.
The banelings spew acid when they die. Stalkers, take them out from a distance.
Excuse me. From a distance.
Glory
the
to the
world seems calm and good. Yeah. So I'm doing exactly what you're supposed to do here, which is using this to our advantage. But then I try to get fancy and use and use blank, and it misfired, and I lost one of my guys, and I get kind of pissy about that.
The demons of the past.
So I end up loading. Yeah, this ends up being more complicated than it needed to be. You're definitely supposed to take advantage of the fact that you can use ranged attacks against guys who are coming around a corner to beat you. You'll notice that when we show our upgrades for certain Terran units, there's a lot of scenarios where you're able to fire 800 times on a group of Zergling or Hydras or something before they can get to you. And
you address me?
Like,
the banelings spew acid when they die.
I think the one where
take them out from a distance.
Marauders slow dudes down is a big one for that. And now here, I get it into my head that we're going to use Zeratul to slow them down because they can't see Zeratul, so they won't blow up. But as you just saw, Zeratul died instantly. And it's because I'm retarded and I completely failed to notice the spore colony up there. So he ran right into a detector, and I'm all like, hee hee, you can't see me! And then, like, he died immediately. So we'll try this again. Anyway, how are you guys?
You address me.
I'm a little irritated in the LPing front because I had a video of a recording session of Breath of Fire 3 that was eaten by the interwebs or on my own computer. See, now Zeratul's taking damage, and I don't know why, because they shouldn't have been able to see him. And I think what I determined is that banelings, who are like a different version of the Zerglings, they're a smaller type of Zerg. They're a bigger type of Zergling. They're this game's replacement for the infested Terrans.
It shall be as you say.
Because while there are infested Terrans, they don't work the same way. So they work kind of like the infested Terrans from the original Starcraft.
The banelings spew acid when they die.
Right. They're suicide attackers. So I think even though they couldn't see Zeratul, they still spew out acid, which means that Zeratul being near them and killing them is just a bad move. Now here things are going much better because I actually got all of them to get their blink attack off successfully. And this is like textbook how it was supposed to be done. So after all those failed efforts, took no damage.
Me?
And I'm super awesome. But yeah, I lost a Breath of Fire 3 recording session, and I noticed from a fact that I had missed stuff, and I was irritated about that too. And I ended up replaying through the you are robbing a rich guy section of the game for a third time to make sure I had everything. And now I have to go back and record more Breath of Fire 3. And I've been trying to keep my Breath of Fire 3 and Final Fantasy 13 coming out at the same rate, but
this hatchery must be destroyed if I am to keep the Queen of Blades from subverting this land.
Subverting it from its current status as being completely empty. So yeah, I know this is not the LP that you tuned in to watch, Breath of Fire 3 or Final Fantasy, but hey, I got a lot of time to cover here. So yeah, I'm annoyed about that, but because I kind of feel more like recording Final Fantasy than Breath of Fire. But I have to record Breath of Fire before I can record Final Fantasy again. And this is key. I'm even farther behind in this game, and now I'm having to re-record like an hour's worth of it because of stuff and I got too many things going at once on my channels. That's what's going on. So now, whoa, yeah. I ran away because I didn't want to face the banelings, and that was interesting. I did not realize that they were going to have an Ultralisk pop up like that. That was kind of cool. So I saved my game, and I believe so. That was nice. That worked out for us on the first try. But I believe I am about to do something tactically wrong. I decided to send Zeratul ahead by himself, just to scout, and hit a situation where I really needed to have, like, tons of firepower immediately.
Is the void.
Or maybe that doesn't happen here. Yeah, that doesn't happen here.
be redeemed.
Try to suck it up here and continue. And now, yeah.
Kill them before they can take root and attack.
It's a good idea, but Zeratul by himself really can't do it. If I'd had all my stalkers there, they probably could have done better.
En Arudin Rashagal.
And there's 2 detectors, so I can't really just shut them both down. Although I'm going to try.
Honor command.
Well, I can't shut down the flying one at all. I guess I got it in my head that I'm going to shut down the spore crawler while that thing is away, and then... Oh, I don't even bother with that. I just kill one of the attackers. Figuring that I'll take out the attackers.
Oblivion.
But as you can see, Zeratul's already taken health damage.
The scales will be balanced.
High Templar Karas is nearby.
That's nice. Back where we are, you know, because we're hanging out like way freaking behind you. I also remember thinking at this point that we've cleared the entire southern portion of the map, and I'm not sure where the third hatchery will end up being. Very wise. So, oh, some Zergling just popped up who weren't around before, I guess. Or who were around and didn't come out when they knew Zeratul was there. The Zergling fear Zeratul, but not twice their number in stalkers. Overseer, that's what they are. And I was going like, you know, singing some stuff from that Jethro Tull song. I am the overseer of the overseer. Hey, what's up? Hey, man. I'm Zeratul, which, you know, you knew.
Blades to this world, yet we know not what she seeks.
We know nothing. One guy's like, I'm sorry, I'm late, guys. I'm in position now, though.
To uncover an ancient prophecy. With your aid, I pray we can discover it before her.
Brother militiamen, come to my aid.
It is an honor, Great One. Lead on.
Macduff. So, we got a bunch of Protoss that we don't get to control. We do get healed, and we get a new Stalker.
Your allies are in battle.
And, kind of, you can watch and make your own analysis and decisions about what I might have done right and wrong here.
Zeratul, can you destroy the airborne Zerg?
Because I do end up getting another chance to do this. I do have the good sense to void prism one of the brood lords, because they
must be destroyed, or the Zerg reinforcements will overwhelm us. Stalkers, take the high ground and support our
take the high ground. I think they're not. The problem is that they're not shooting at the worms. They're shooting at the stuff that comes out of the worms. And then I end up going back here and I'm looking around, because at this point I'm nervous that I've missed one of the optional hatcheries, because I feel like this fight is probably the last part of the mission. And while I'm looking around, there's no detectors here, so Zeratul's okay, but my allies die.
Now I shall become one with the Kala.
The Great Kali.
I will raise the demons.
So yeah, that's not how you're supposed to do this. I basically messed that up. And there's a bunch of Zerg who don't know where to go because they're supposed to have been defeated. Or they're gonna come back and kill my guys. And I have the distinct memories of an Ultralisk being rendered invulnerable somehow, and it's, I don't know. Like I kept getting a message saying you cannot attack invulnerable units. Maybe that happened during the first part of the video, the part that I'm not doing post-commentary on.
The scales will be balanced.
In which case, every time I've mentioned it, you guys have been like, that already happened, shut up. So,
En Arudin Rashagal.
so at this point, I'm like, I don't even know if I can win, or if I had to have my allies survive that part of the battle. I think I did, actually, because I no longer see the victory... Like, I no longer see the thing on the map where you bring Zeratul there and you win. And as you'll see when I come back and redo this... By the way, this is... I found this secret path down to the last optional thing that you have to do, so... I was worried that as soon as that skirmish is over with the Zerg, that it kicks the mission to the end.
Blade seeks to pervert this world with that hatchery. I must destroy it.
And here I know that I'm boned, because there's no way that you can just do this as Zeratul by himself. There's 2 detectors. I can't void prison them both. There's too many things there for Zeratul to defeat.
Service of ire.
So I try to freeze one of them and figure, can I somehow get into the corner here and just kill a few guys at a time? And I'm like, no, this isn't going to work. I know at this point it's not going to work. So I quit out. But I think I was stuck anyway, because there should be a little like target location on the map where you bring Zeratul to continue the story, and it didn't seem to be there anymore. And I think it was because the named Templar character that was helping us died. So I think I'd already screwed up, but the game wasn't kind enough to tell me that I'd basically made it unwinnable at that point.
Darkness.
So we jump way back, and I remember using some swear words here because I didn't realize that it had been this long since I'd saved. I'd finally been like, oh fine, I'm not gonna like lose my shit over every single time a character gets hurt, and I'm just going to keep going forward the way you're supposed to play these missions. And then I didn't realize how long it had been since I'd saved. But as you can see, having all of my forces together was definitely the right thing to do here. And realizing that I haven't been saving, I start saving constantly now. Because we get to hear where the Oh, Baneling. Oh, son of a bitch. But
we must not.
It just damaged the shields.
Spy crawlers.
Now here it makes a big difference.
Before they can take root and attack.
Because we kill a lot more of the spy crawlers, or at least 1 or 2.
There is much to answer.
Yeah, so nobody took health damage, although one of the stalkers came close. As opposed to that being a real challenge before, because that time I just killed most of the spore crawlers before they settled. Now, why they didn't just settle exactly where they were as soon as they started attacking, I don't know. I guess they're not allowed to settle in anything except creep. It doesn't really make sense that they were wandering around the way they were, but hey, it's a dungeon crawl. They set up weird stuff. Again, here, man. I know.
My force tracked the Queen of Blades to this world, yet we know not what she seeks.
Excuse me. I know. I'm smarter than you are, by the way.
Kerrigan and I were both drawn here to uncover an ancient prophecy. With your aid, I pray we can discover it before her.
Or together with her, all being good friends.
Honor, Great One. Lead on.
Oh, thanks. Great one. That's pretty nice. What am I, like Gretzky now? It'd be nice if they would hold off on attacking till I gave the order, but... So now one thing I did... Yes. I froze the Ultralisk in a Void Prism, and that actually triggered a dialogue, so I knew when I did that, the game definitely wanted me to do that before.
Can you destroy the F1 Zerg?
Getting the Broodlord in one of those doesn't really say anything, but I've also got my Stalkers up here from the very beginning, and they are directly targeting worms instead of just being allowed to fire on their own discretion, which means they sometimes fire on stuff that's not that dangerous. And I also have Zeratul up here helping, so this just goes much, much better. My big fear was that I wouldn't get an opportunity.
Zeratul has destroyed their worms. Press on.
burdens weigh
And I was
heavily.
going to freeze him, but I didn't even have time.
I
My big
will
worry was that
erase the demons
winning that
of the
skirmish there would
past.
automatically end it, but it doesn't. So I'm feeling pretty full of myself at this point. And now I've got plenty of stalkers to help me in this last optional mission. So things are looking up. And you'll notice that before we started this last little run, there were destroyable rocks, and I blinked across them instead of destroying them. I had this notion that if we lost again and had Zerg chasing us, that we could blink to the other side of it and then shoot ranged attacks at them while they were wasting their attacks on the rocks. But obviously, and I was actually explaining that in the live commentary. At this point, I was actually explaining that. See, little mouse gestures there. The idea was that they would have to beat on those rocks and get to me, and I could shoot at them. But it never came to that because we wiped them out in the first
Queen
pass.
of Blades seeks to pervert this world with that hatchery. I must destroy it.
So we lost one, and I'm kind of annoyed and wondering if we could have avoided that. But you know, it really ain't worth going through it all over again. Enemy unit, you cannot control this unit. You do not get to control these eggs. You are not playing. What is the company that had an egg, like a walking egg, as a mascot? They used to make NES games. I think they had video game champion Thor Ackerlund as their paid endorser. I don't remember. They had like Quattro Arcade or whatever. They would sell those 4 games on 1 cartridge types of games where you just knew they all sucked.
We move unseen.
I think it was like I think its name was Dizzy. Their egg, yeah, sorry. But you know, not much because it's been devoid of life for a really long time. So we teleport on down. And Arudin. We head over here to Rajagal. He keeps mentioning Rajagal. I think he's saying, "I'm so sorry, baby. I'm sorry I had to kill you."
The final piece of the prophecy. It speaks of one who
The
shall
Zerg were clearly already
break
there.
the cycle of the gods.
Most ominous. But if the Queen of Blades seeks this prophecy, we must keep it from her.
The rest is obscured. What?
The rest is silence. Check it out, boys.
You might peel away the prophecy's layers, Zeratul.
I got exoskeleton thong on.
Outrun the doom that awaits us all.
Listen to the voice of doom. Sorry. Yeah, so you can just like summon Zerg like crazy.
Against so many.
Pretty much.
I will
So
stand
we're like,
against the Queen of
see you later,
Blades,
boss.
and you escape with the fragments.
I will not abandon you.
Oh, come on. He's a nameless character. You know you're going to abandon him.
The prophecy is more important than either of us. Reveal its secrets, Zeratul. The future rests on it.
That's a very Warcraft 3 turn of
Your
events, too.
sacrifice will not be forgotten, brother.
Except by all the players who will not really remember it in 10 minutes time because it was not really built up to be that big a deal.
The Void Seeker before the Zerg overwhelm me and the prophecy is lost.
So yeah, you have like infinite number of guys spawning behind you, so it's kind of... And then the worst possible thing happens. I blink down there to try to save time, but Zeratul ends up being the one who can't fit, so he blinks to where he was. And now my stalkers are moving towards the exit, but Zeratul is like stuck. And basically screwed.
I must get to the Void Seeker
and oh, I guess that didn't happen this time. Oopsie. Whispers of Doom. Yeah, that was like the worst possible thing that could happen. I tried to blink across the path to save time, and Zeratul's just like his backup blinks ahead of him. They're like, you know, feats don't fail us now, boss. Hooey! And he gets left behind. Why did I do that? Oh, because I have to redo this. Oh, JJ.
service of ire.
JJ.
My allegiance is yours.
these two jerks don't make it. I mean, the blink is just like, ugh. And didn't they call it blink in Warcraft 3 when they gave it to that, like, huntress, night elf hero, whatever the hell she was?
I must destroy it.
It just kind of bugs me that now I'm like trying to be slick with blink, and it doesn't frickin' work. Half of the guys don't make it. No, I mean I don't know what it is, but there's definitely a different flavor between. The only Warcraft game I ever played was Warcraft 3 and its expansion, and Starcraft. They're both fun games, but there's a very different flavor. Warcraft is, of course, a lot more dependent on hero units and stuff. And Starcraft 2 just seems to be trying to get closer and closer to Warcraft 3 and farther away from Starcraft. And that whole little, like, in-game close, like, we use the actual rendered characters from the game, which is cool.
All of Kerrigan's hatcheries are destroyed.
All their base are belong to us. And I don't worry about the fact that I lost several stalkers that time, because I know all I'm going to do in this next part is... But yeah, they do a close-in, they use the actual rendered characters with voiceovers instead of cutting to some other CGI thing. And you have characters introduced for one mission and treated like plot characters when they just die immediately. That seems like such a Warcraft 3 thing.
Before the Zerg overwhelm me.
Anyway, we skipped that, but we see our little path here. They show us where we gotta go. That's nice. We got Nidus worms coming up behind us. They gave us a nice 2-minute countdown, which is, I think, good of them, because it makes it obvious that you weren't supposed to fight. Otherwise, you might try to see if you can fight your way out.
Now, I shall become one with the Kala.
I've been looking forward to this for a while, I gotta say.
I must get to the Void Seeker and preserve the prophecy. I will not let my brother's sacrifice be in vain.
So yeah, I make it out with plenty of time to spare. And there's his ship, the Void Runner, whatever, which the Zerg, for some reason, completely ignored.
My own, yet I know who might interpret them. The preservers of Zakul.
Oh, I was gonna say like Sato Hoshi or Hoshi Sato.
I fear this entire universe will burn.
We're totally boned, man. Yeah. So I guess his ship was like super cloaked that it wasn't noticed by the Zerg and blown up. Yeah, 39 minutes, 57 seconds. That's a joke. I added at least that much time on top with save load. And here I am bemoaning the fact that I didn't get the hard challenge that I thought I was going to get. I never even got the normal mode challenge on this particular mission in previous play. But I was convinced I would get the hard challenge because Zeratul didn't take any health damage, according to the thing on the right, 0 health damage. And Mercenary, merely a flesh wound, is you finish this mission without Zerg taking health damage on hard. And for some reason, I seem to have, through the magic of save load, eventually accomplished that, but wasn't given credit for it. So, if you ever see me online, folks, you better realize that my achievement points, wherever you find them on my profile, should be 10 points higher than they are. Total bull, man. Yeah. Anyway, so at long last, our national nightmare is over, and we're about to finish this video. Yeah, I'm really surprised that took me so long. Although I didn't spend as much time yelling at past JG as I expected to. When I was in the back of my mind at work today, I realized, yeah, I get home, instead of recording new stuff, I'm going to have to do post-commentary.
I like all the pretty lights.
I like the fact that I'm
okay, Doc.
About to
Before
pass
you start
out.
asking.
You were staring at that Protoss
problems.
device for a very long time. Are you sure?
Now you're staring at my chest.
I could use a drink. Or 2.
Or 8.
Maybe what I saw would make more sense if I was drunk.
What was it, Jim?
An old
It's kind
friend
of like
of
when you
mine.
learn to play
Looking for
cards
the end
drunk
of the
and then you're
world.
better at cards when you are drunk. Yeah, old friend of mine, End of the World or something. JG spoke over my line, but I'm sure it was really good. And then I'm mulling over whether I want to do anything else in this video. Come on, JG, just end it. This video has gone on long enough. I think we realize at this point that I got more research for both, and that the next mission I accomplish, I'll probably be able to get a piece of research from both trees, but nothing right now. You got the Predator, which I almost never use, and the Hercules, which I almost never use, but it seems like it could be useful. Predator is kind of silly. Baxter Stockman. Not sure why he never gets any dialogue, like normal dialogue. Like they developed him as a character, and then at the last minute, like, forget it, we didn't really need him, but I guess keep him in there. We already got a character design for him. He sticks around longer than some of the other characters who get like real, honest-to-God dialogue bubbles when you hover over them. Right. Anyway, I didn't realize it was going to end quite there, but it did. So, thanks for watching. Next time, we'll have an actual Protoss mission, which is not a dungeon crawl. An actual mission we can build a base. So, Mysterious JG, thanks for watching. See you then. Bye-bye.